Hello everyone. Today I'm super excited to present our AI interview agent called Tara by Allps AI. Tara is conducting interviews and it's doing the preliminary screening based on the skills. Tara is capable to conduct interviews in multiple languages. We are here to showcase the demo of Tara. This is the recruiter's dashboard and I'm choosing enterprise architect role. The job title description is neatly generated. I can choose multiple languages. I'm choosing English to move forward. Let's get started.
Hello, I'm Tara, your AI interviewer for today. Welcome. We're interviewing for the Enterprise Architect Process Transformation role. To get started, could you please tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience?
Hi Tara, it's nice meeting you. My name is Zakir and I have been working as an enterprise architect in the financial industry for more than 10 years. I have a developer background and I switched from lead developer to enterprise architect. I focus on end-to-end architecture topics.
Nice to meet you too, Sakir. Thank you for sharing that with me. Sounds like you have a rich background in both development and enterprise architecture, which is fantastic for this role. I'd love to dive deeper into your experience, especially around process transformation. Can you tell me more about what sparked your interest in this area and how you've applied your skills to drive transformation in your previous roles?
Definitely in the trading platform, I have seen the business process of getting the equity or fixed income orders, and then it goes through different systems. So when the systems are not functioning as expected, that's where the bottleneck lies. And when the systems are not meeting the non-functional requirements, so that is where the process transformation comes into play. So in my experience, what I have seen is when a system is down, the system need to be resilient and inform if the messaging is not working properly or if the interface, it could be runtime error or during compile time. So all this can be captured and the system can react independently, recover from the error. It can inform the stakeholders, the support people. So the process is really seamless here.
Great, thank you for that introduction. It's great to have you here. Let's dive into the first question. How would you design an enterprise architecture framework to align business goals with technology strategy using TAGOF?
Yeah, very interesting question. So in order to come up with the enterprise architecture framework, so the first step is to defining clearly the business process requirements to capture the business process and the surrounding requirements. So this could be done in Lucidchart or some other tools. So once the business process is defined, the corresponding systems can be mapped to understand in which systems this business process is being captured. So we can take an example of a equity trade. So there is a front office, mid office, and back office. So front office gets the initial order. So which system is responsible to validate and process that order? So this can be mapped in terms of the business to architect. You can have your database design and the middleware design and the front end design independent, decoupled, so you can bring all this together.
That's a good start, but I'd love to dive deeper into the specifics of TAGOF's ADM phases and how they support business IT alignment. Can you walk me through the different phases of the architecture development method and how architecture road mapping contributes to achieving business objectives?
It's an interesting question, but unfortunately, I haven't worked with TOGAF for a while, so I could not answer this question.
Thank you for being honest with me. I completely understand that it can be challenging to recall specific details from a while back. It's completely okay to admit when we don't know something. Let's move on to the next question and explore other areas of your experience. What do you think about the importance of portfolio management in enterprise architecture, and how have you seen it impact the success of a project? Can you describe a situation where you had to guide a team on best practices for software, infrastructure, and data architecture, and how you handled any resistance to change.
Yeah, so the first question is how the architecture can be handled to support the portfolio management, right? In terms of enterprise architectures, reusing of the applications is an important principle. I would identify the impacted systems and define the enterprise architecture specific to the portfolio. And I have seen for different solutions, this has been this works wonderful. In terms of explaining a situation, there is always resistance. For example, if you want to get a unique identifier for a trade, so either you can build a independent service or you can handle within the system itself. So this is where data architecture comes into play, where you define like a clear data model so that the trade identifier in this case can be fetched. And in terms of resistance, I always go with pros and cons, displaying pros and cons such a way that it can convince the stakeholders. And you can also go with weighted average as an example. Yeah.
That's a great start, but I'd love to hear more about a specific time when you had to guide a team through a significant change. Can you walk me through a real-world scenario where you demonstrated leadership and mentorship skills in the face of resistance to change?
Yeah, definitely. So we had a huge challenge of a central order management system that was failing under load. So this is for equities trading, and I was responsible to scale this solution. So obviously, we experimented with Java application used to crash under load, and we do not know the precise reason why it was crashing. So therefore, I experimented with new technologies. I introduced, for example, Spring, Hibernate, and also cross-checked with C++ code. So that way, there was huge resistance from the team, and I was able to demonstrate the different solutions or frameworks. Based on these frameworks, it was easy to convince my team and motivate them to use the new technology rather than just staying with the existing stack.
I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on that. That brings us to the end of the questions. Thank you for sharing your experience with me. Do you have any questions for me about the role or the team?
Yeah, definitely. Could you please explain in detail about the role and how many team members are working in this project?
Questions on to the hiring team, and they'll be able to provide you with more detailed answers. Thank you again for your time today. We'll be in touch soon regarding the next steps. Have a great day.